Hey guys, it's Chris at Lifetime Trail Maps, and today I wanted to just chat with you real quick about Tackett Creek. A lot of people have a misunderstanding of Tackett Creek and what it is and the complexity of it and the parking and so many different things. Tackett Creek, we get messages weekly on Tackett Creek at Lifetime Trail Maps, and there are people asking us everything from how hard is it good for beginner riders? Is it, what kind of machine and equipment do you need? Where do you park? There's so many different things that we get asked on a daily basis. So I thought I'd bring you a video. Let me start by saying that Tackett Creek is a land unit that's actually owned and operated by a conservation group called the Conservancy, Nature Conservancy. You can find out more about them online. And it's actually leased by TWRA. Now, TWRA has strictly access rights. They do not have any surface rights. You can't even put a nail in a tree according to their contract. So, Tackett Creek has gotten quite a bit worse over the last few years. I was introduced to it actually, this is kind of funny because I've heard recently in this little silly Tackett Creek Facebook group that the mapping companies are the ones that are making Tackett uncontrollable and degraded and overpopulated, when in actuality we were introduced to Tackett several years back by a local from La Follette that has a YouTube channel with lots of videos about Tackett. So there were numerous people already asking about Tackett before we ever started riding Tackett. And look, I understand Tackett's a honey hole, has been for years. You locals that live there, you feel like you're very protective of it, and I totally get that. But land is land, and land is for every American. It's not just for a local. So if you have the mentality that Tackett belongs to you and you don't want other people there, unfortunately, that's just not how it works. Land belongs to everybody. If you're an American citizen, you have right to land in this U.S. just like anybody else does. And when it's designated as public access, we all have the rights to it. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. If you have the right to be here in the U.S. and to traverse public land, you have the right to Tackett Creek. That being said, Tackett Creek's not for everyone. Tackett Creek is certainly not a new or beginner place to begin riding. If you just bought a side-by-side or you've only been doing it for a couple of years, I highly advise staying away from Tackett until you go with somebody that knows the area. Even if you have our mapping system, it doesn't matter. We recommend having someone take you to Tackett, show you around, show you the do's and don'ts, where to park, that sort of thing. Get with Tony Ford. He's a good guy. He knows the area very well. He loves taking people around, showing them new stuff. And Tackett, he's very knowledgeable about Tackett. As far as parking, used to not be really any quality parking until now. There's a place down by Car Gap, which is about 3/4 of a mile from the Car Gap trailhead, or people know it as Pudge's. It's called Tackett Creek ATV Parking and Camping. You can actually pay $10. You can park there all day, ride Tackett Creek, ride Middlesboro, whatever you want. The property owner actually doesn't even care if people set up a tent or camp overnight, but there are no RV hookups or any water or anything like that. So, pack in, pack out kind of thing. You guys know how we proclaim responsible riding and keeping trails clean. But if you're not experienced or skilled, or you don't have what you feel is a proper riding level for primarily black trails, I mean, most of Tackett's getting worse every day because TWRA, even though they lease it, they can't put a bulldozer in there. They can't put an excavator in there. They're not bringing equipment in to clean it up and make it better for everybody because they don't have the rights. So it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And as a matter of fact, some of the bigger areas, No Business, Hell's Canyon, that sort of thing, they're just getting to the point where if you're not on a 32 to 35 inch tire minimum, you're gonna have trouble. And we don't want to see people get out and get hurt, hurt their machines, hurt their families, that sort of thing. So if you don't know much about Tackett, get with somebody that knows it. Second of all, as far as the information based on Tackett Creek, again, there's a little Facebook group out there, Tackett Creek Facebook group, that seem to be, a little more biased than everybody else, just in the Tackett Creek area. And I'm not going to say that they don't understand Tackett Creek or they don't know, because a lot of them are locals and they've lived there a long time. But if you want to know about Tackett Creek and you want to understand the ins and outs of what's really happening at Tackett Creek, get with somebody that knows what's going on. And the two sources that I would direct you to, outside of somebody that's unbiased about Tackett, such as myself or Lifetime Trail Maps, is the Nature Conservancy. Call them up, ask them questions. They'll talk to you. So will TWRA. They'll talk to you. They'll tell you all the ins and outs, do's and don'ts, what they expect, what they don't care about, and you'll get it right from the horse's mouth. But to continually buy into these silly, immature Facebook posts that we see from time to time about Tackett and who's destroying it and why it's gotten so bad and this and that and other, it's just ridiculous. It's elementary, and it really does it. It's irrelevant. So make a good decision and find some people in a group of people that actually understand Tackett, that are not just locals that don't want other people there. I mean, I totally get it. Listen, I live in a small town. I understand small town mentality, and I understand that sometimes small towns don't like people from the outside coming in and encroaching on what they think is theirs. But the reality of it is, like I said earlier in the video, when it comes to public land, trails, that sort of thing, land is land. I mean, I have 2 big riding areas, actually 3 or 4 big riding areas for ATVs right here in my backyard. I live basically in one of the highest peaks in Georgia. I live at the valley of it, at the base of it. And I mean, Jeeps and hikers and ATVs and horses, they all utilize the land. I'm not going to look at your tag and see where you're from and say, oh, you're from, Kentucky. You don't belong here. You don't know this area. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's immature. It doesn't accomplish anything. What does accomplish things is when you ride responsibly. You ride responsibly, you promote responsibility, you promote safety, and just overall responsible use of the land. That's what's going to help the community grow. Otherwise, things are going to get shut down. Now, this is just my personal opinion, but you're going to see some things getting shut down here pretty soon. Just because of, I've seen this happen so many times. I was involved with the Teleco shutdown back when I had my Jeep club in, 99, 2000, 2001, even probably just a smidge after that, where the government had an agenda, and it was just because outside groups complaining. And one of the things we need to understand is that when outside groups start complaining, not locals, outside groups, when outside people start complaining, or people with power and money, that's when you have problems. So, I understand that, some people just see things differently than a lot of other people in this world. But the reality of it is, if you bring negative attention to it and you continue to cast stones, you're just going to see things get shut down. There have been lots of complaints in the Tackett area already about parking and traveling on pavement and various and sundry other things. And look, all you're doing is hurting yourself getting involved with that. Ride responsible. Ride the ATV routes, or stay off the roads if you don't have tags and insurance on your RZR or your side-by-side, or if you don't have, if you're not on a legal ATV route. Find places to park that are legal. I mean, it's not that hard. People just want to complain and get upset about, various things when it comes to the parking. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter who or what. Just find a good place to park that doesn't draw negative attention to the area. And we've said that in times past, and we'll continue to push that because we do promote riding as safe and responsible as possible. I understand sometimes you got to get on a piece of pavement, jump from a trail to a trail, and it may not be marked on a map as ATV legal or whatever. I get it. I'm a normal human being. I totally understand these things. I've been riding for 30 years. I understand it completely. But for the most part, on average, I'm talking about the big picture. I'm not talking about, one little small instance here or there. I'm talking about overall. Ride safe, ride responsible. Get your information from reliable sources, people that are well valued in the community. I'm not the be all end all to Tackett Creek or North Cumberland or any riding area across the United States. But I do try to study them. I try to understand them. I try to work directly with the people that manage them so that I can have a better understanding of exactly what they're doing, what their goals are. You know, so that being said, don't take it from me. Go right to the sources, TWRA, Nature Conservancy, any of the property owners or lessees, leasers that you know, lease this property. But if you do need a safe and reliable place to park, like I said, look up Tackett Creek ATV Parking. You can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Tackett Creek ATV. It's a great place to park. You can actually park there, pay your $10. It's all video surveilled, so you know, if any shenanigans do happen, you got video cameras, you can see what's going on. I'm actually not a part of that. I just push it and promote it. I don't own it, the property. I don't manage it. I don't run it. But I am going to push it heavily because you can actually leave their parking lot and you can ride down the grass shoulder on the lower side of the shoulder all the way down 3/4 of a mile to the Pudges or Car Gap Trailhead. Now, that being said, before I started promoting it, I did talk to Tennessee Highway Patrol and asked them specifically, you know, is this okay? Is there something that's going to be have negative attention drawn to it? And the answer was no, that riding down the grass side of the road, as long as you're not on the pavement, there is no technical law being broken. I guess maybe an officer that doesn't understand the law or doesn't quite get that gray area of the law may say something, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's a safe, legal way to get it to Tackett. You can also get to Middlesboro. Again, it's Tackett Creek ATV Parking. You can find them on Facebook. If you need mapping, you can hit us up at lifetimetrailmaps.net. But again, let's all ride safe. Let's get along. I mean, in the last 6 months or 8 months, I've just seen, you know, all over the internet, Facebook, forums and all, people get negative and upset and complain about lots of little things that don't really matter. Probably guilty of it myself, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings. I totally get it, understand it. Just promote however you can the ATV community. Promote it in a healthy way. Be a positive influence, be a positive input, you know, have positive things to say. Quit being negative, quit casting stones, quit, you know, diving into things that don't matter. Again, I'm guilty of the same exact thing because I am human and I admit my flaws. But I'm going to change that moving forward and get back into the groove of promoting in a healthy environment. This is a sport and hobby that we all love, whether it be water skiing, horseback riding, you know, whatever it is. There are ins and outs of every hobby, and we don't want to see them start dwindling away like they have in the past, such as Tellico and even Morris Mountain. I mean, not Morris Mountain, but Mountainside Off-Road Park over in Gadsden. Used to love that place. Politics, man, it shuts it down. So ride responsible, ride safe, and if you have any questions, reach out to us on our Facebook page, Lifetime Trail Maps Facebook page, or www.lifetimetrailmaps.net, .com, .biz, .info, .org, whatever you want. Let us know how we can, you know, help you understand any of the trail systems that we offer better. You know, hopefully this video has been a little helpful for you to understand more about Tackett Creek, what it's about, how hard is it, why, you know, how do we park and that sort of thing. So you guys have a great afternoon, and I'm gonna get here and enjoy this weather a little bit and clean up some vehicles. Ride safe.